Recording. Boom.
Yeah, which one? Which game are you starting?
Dark Elves versus you.
Ooh, that's actually a good one.
This is it. Hello, welcome to the final session of Coast and Dwarves replays we're looking at. Don't know what we're doing after this, but we'll figure something out. Until Beastmen come out, that is. Is it literally just Beastmen that's left?
Beastmen are left, yeah.
Yeah, because there's an odd number of
could
factions.
do
What, either Greenskins or Norsca, maybe? Oh, actually, no, we
Dark
could
Elves
do Lizardmen,
and
maybe.
Lizardmen. We could redo those because
That
they
was a
were not
missing one, wasn't it?
recorded.
Yeah, they weren't recorded, that's a good point, yeah. It's probably a good idea to do that. Probably it would make sense to do Lizardmen and Beastmen, because then everyone will click on it as well, if we make good views. Already thinking about that. Already got the right mindset.
Hello, Spaghetti Monster.
Monstrous spaghetti. Let's see here. What are these builds like? Interesting.
Okay, so I can actually talk about the like me and Odd were joking before because we saw this on one of Turin's streams with like basically all shades for the Dark Elves, and I was joking her. I saw one with all shades that did really good and actually dual weapon shades. And Odd was who would bring shades in this matchup? Yeah, and I knew I didn't have enough hounds.
I can see just like all shades doing well in this matchup. Just full shades.
Yeah,
maybe a bolt thrower or two.
It was a fun game. I think it's sorceress, all shades, and then some harpies. And I suspected that he would bring harpies, which is around about 2 Felbats. But yeah.
So yeah, looking at your army here, you've got the 2 Felbats in front, behind them, some deck droppers.
Yeah, 2 Felbats, screen the harpies, and then I wanted to shoot them with the normal deck droppers. I didn't have money for the handgun versions, and I honestly don't know this build so well. I just figured like normal hand deck droppers really good, and can fill up the ammo with the gunnery whites.
You got the gunnery whites.
I didn't want to go full snipe build.
Is it 2 Scab Squates there? Yeah, both on crabs as well. Putting them on crabs, why is that?
Good AP melee damage.
I just think they're big targets for shades.
Yes, I know, but I also have Noctilus, so I think if they have the chance, they will.
Noctilus on his thing as well. I thought you'd put him on foot.
Nope.
There he is on his neck.
I wanted to have something against cavalry.
Front line, deckhand mob, 2 bombers, typical sort of front line there. You got the Shade Race in the back with 2 pole arms as well to cover. In case of cold ones.
Shade Race logic, like huge amounts of magic damage that does decent against infantry, and could maybe route the shades and.
Yeah, they do pretty much give damage to everything, really. Shades are physical resistant? No, they don't. But looking at the Dark Elf army, it's a lot of infantry. Shades, 4 units of shades. Are those regular shades? Yeah, regular shades. Bleak swords in the front with dread spears all around in the back. Cold One Knight and Malekith on his Cold One, along with Soul Stealer and Gaze of Gaze of Malice. Got the Crones of Cain. Is it the Crones of Cain? The Crows of Cain, and a regular unit of Harpies. So 2 Harpy units. And in the back line, got Dark Riders with shields, but you've also deployed some sneaky scurvy dogs on the way back there. Okay then, let us play this through, see how this goes. And imagine, of course, Noctilus is going to be firing first at... Oh, we can't see the shades yet, so there's that advantage of the stalk coming in, because otherwise you would be shooting at them by now.
Yeah, no, I think my first shot is going off into the red space because I couldn't reach anything, and then I was switching on to the dark shots because I wasn't sure if what cavalry they were at the start.
Deck Gunners firing to Bleak Swords. They don't have Shield Breaker though, the Shade Wraiths, so... But then again, you can't really see the shades.
Artillery, so I don't think...
Oh yeah, they do have explosive damage, I think.
Yeah, also now I think I'm noticing the shades.
Yeah, the shades are firing off now, so they're the prime target, you can see them now.
I mean, I knew this was not his whole army because this was like way too less money.
Looking at some bobber damage. No, that one got a bit hampered a little. Let's see how this one throws. Should be able to wipe it. Oh, there you go. Actually, that one throwing a lot better there. Showing the power of bombers. That Bleak Sword on half health already. Over here, a bit of a skirmish with the bats and the crows. So you're tying them down with the Felbat and then shooting them with the gunners, pretty much.
Yeah, they don't do as much damage as I would have hoped, so I'm retreating the bats and see if I can get them closer to my other units.
Crit speed unit already gone just from bombs. The power of bombs.
You see in the back, my hounds actually got on top of the shades, but he countered with the dark
riders. Yeah, I think shades would actually beat hounds fairly decently.
Yeah, shades do decent against hounds, but charge in the back would do really good. But actually, the hounds beat dark riders.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, dark riders aren't the best. Especially undead hounds will definitely win. Yeah, I'd say that.
And I'm chasing. It looks like I'm over chasing, but I wanted to get off that one.
Get off that one dark rider unit. Yeah, chase that off. Yeah.
So I chased it off with hounds because I knew the Dark Riders would basically be the counter to my hounds, and I needed the hounds to kill the shades.
Just firing into the crows with your gunnery whites, and not like you want anything else really to shoot at this point.
Yeah, I had nothing for the gunnery whites. So.
Murderous prowess pops, so that means they're going to be carving through stuff quite quickly now. Throwing bombs into the back line there, that's the ideal situation. Just like once you've defeated that first unit, swivel your bomber unit around and then throw bombs into the flanks. Boom, taking that out quickly. Your Shade Wreath gunners doing alright. Did you drop a heal on them? I know they got caught out with the Dark
No,
Riders.
I didn't drop a heal on them.
They're just doing alright because of that physical resistance. Still quite a few shades left. But if you can focus them down a bit, maybe some good artillery shots to take them down. Bomb around
I just dropped the heal on the hounds in the front line because like keeping your hounds alive is like really important. So you can actually healing them is actually decent. But you see, like they basically die if like I charge the shades in the front and they basically die.
Yeah, the shades are surprisingly good damage output for a ranged unit. I mean they're at 50 melee attack now. That's really good for especially for a missile infantry. 50 melee attack, 39 weapon strength, 30 weapon strength. Just firing off at Malekith with Noctis. Though those cold ones are basically being taken out just from collateral of being near Malekith at this point. Gunnery White getting surrounded by Dread Spears, but obviously he's pretty armoured, and also Scab's Grace as well. Pretty nice Scab's Grace.
Yeah, there's coming one in. I just remembered I had them.
No, you just remember. I was about to say I didn't think I've seen many Scab's Grace so far.
I was also busy microing hounds.
These Shade Wraith gunners low on health, but like one heal would get those back up to full. They have like no health. They have like 1,000 max health pretty much. Just gotta see if you're able to drop that. They are trying to get away from Dread Spears right now. Some Soul Stealer going down there, I think, just on the Gunnery White and the Deckhand Mob to heal up Malekith a little bit. Dropping the Bombardment spell from Noctis onto Malekith. There's a nice little bit of damage. Every little helps when it comes to trying to whittle down Malekith. Shade Wraith's getting caught out, unfortunately, but and Malekith is engaged Noctis. If Noctis goes down, that could definitely swing the fight in the Dark Elf's favour. And the Shade Wraiths are also firing on Noctis as well, so he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage if he doesn't get himself out of the way.
Yeah, try to walk into the trees to get less of the damage.
Yeah, to minimise the damage. You also summon some zombies on the Shades there.
Yeah. And occupy them with the other summon. And I think at this point my hounds actually come back.
Oh yeah, you got the hounds that were chasing off that Dark Rider unit all the way back now.
Yeah.
They should be able to beat that Shade unit, so low in health. So.
And I think the other hound unit is also still alive. It's running around somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where it is at the moment.
Other hound unit. Could see it anyway. Oh, there
it's definitely alive. It was chasing something off.
Yeah,
it might have been chasing
some shades right now. Yeah, Malekith's still trying to get after Noctis, although the Gunnery White is firing the occasional shot off at him. But Noctis is kind of in the way there. Ooh. That shot just went right into the back of the Gunnery White. Healing up your Scurvy Dogs and just using them to chase off the Shades and big swords or things. Another Soul Stealer going down. You see,
yeah, and I just walked Noctilus out of the range.
Yeah, oh, you just walked it out.
Perfect dodge, like
just walked it out. So he tried to get the gun. He should have gone for this blob here instead. Probably would have got more healing out of it as well.
It was a good idea, but he didn't notice that I was walking out Noctilus already, and he also didn't knew I had two gunnery bites. He thought I had only one.
Only had the one.
And on the right, I'm running off the deck droppers because I figured like the harpies are gonna chase it anyway, so I'm just sending it off as far as possible.
Yeah, so that it forces the harpies to go all the way over there. Even if they get caught out, it forces the harpies to like go away from the rest of the fight. The hounds will probably get their value back just from chasing things off. Like, not they've actually fought any hard-fought battles or anything, just because they've run off already dead units, pretty much. Already shattered units, and they can't really do anything to fight back. I feel like there should be some sort of mechanic where a shattered unit does actually do a little bit of damage back to the thing chasing it off. Like, they're not just going to constantly run, they like throw their hands back or something. Oh, nice Scab Scrape there on the Dread Spears. Gunnery White is taking a fair amount of damage though, although this one's shooting off at Malekith as well. Harpies, oh, you're going after the Scurvy Dogs here? Basically just down to the Scurvy Dogs and your hero core, pretty much.
I think I have some zombies running around somewhere.
We can always summon more up, I'm sure. Did you bring Noctis with his item? Yeah, he's got his item as well, so he's going to have a ton of zombie summons
At this
available.
point, I'm trying to focus on Malekith with everything I have, basically.
Yeah, that's what, if you take Malekith out, you pretty much win, but the Gunnery Whites are taking some heavy damage.
Yeah, one of them is, but...
No, the scabs. Oh, actually, there's army losses there. Is just going to win the battle there? Even though I think Malekith could have maybe won against Noctis.
Yeah, but a lot of healing in the back.
Did have a lot of healing, yeah. Because he's a better Law of Magic, I think it counts for a lot more bounty power.
I think I used 2 summons from the Drowned Dead, and I think 1 or 2 healing spells, so I probably had a lot of healing left.
Yeah. Did you use all his item summons as well?
No, I only used 1 item
summon,
so I had 1 more left.
So yeah, a ton of zombie summons left would have choked up a lot of the damage. So Noctis getting really good value, not to mention all the summons and the healing he did, which doesn't show in the damage value, just shows why Noctis is basically the best Vampire Coast Lord in the roster. Gunnery White's doing pretty alright. They mostly acted like a stone, pretty much, just to slow down everything else. Not a huge amount of damage, not that they can put that much out despite outside of their ranged attack. Zombies doing zombie things, nothing too special from them. The bombers, considering how cheap these things are, they all pretty much pay for themselves, which just shows the efficiency of zombie deckhands and gunnery mob. Shade Race did okay, but they got a bit caught out, so they didn't get their full value. And of course the dogs, just from chasing off units, got a huge amount of damage, 1,200 on both. And these, how much are deck droppers with regular handguns? Is it
500, I think.
500,
they didn't pay for itself.
No, they didn't pay for themselves. But
I mean, it was surprising how much value they got, considering they were shut down. But like, if I would do this again, I would basically cut the Air Force and get like 1 or 2 more hounds and maybe some meat, like 1 unit of
deckhands or some more bombers, maybe.
Maybe actually no, I don't like Sirens because of the magic damage in the Dark Elf roster.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dark Elves.
But maybe like one Death Guard unit would have just
yeah, Death Guard or something like that.
And if I had more hounds, I could pressure the shades better.
Depending on the map, you could also bring a mortar if there's like a hill to hide behind.
Yeah, this was I was thinking as well, like bring mortars or bringing this, and I never used this build or not use this double Gunnery White often, so I figured I might just bring the meta shit too.
The risk is if you bring a mortar and it's like the wrong map, an equal claw bolt thrower can shut it down really quickly.
Yeah.
So you've got to be aware of that. Malekith getting pretty much the same value as Noctis. Didn't have the summons and healing there, so not quite the same amount of value. Shades all did really well, pretty much, apart from like 2 units that didn't quite pay for themselves.
Yeah, like even like basically the shades were shut, like 2 or at least a couple of the shades were shut down almost instantly, and they still made their value back.
Yeah, still made a huge amount of value. Dark Riders didn't really do much. They're just in the backline. They're going to lose the Hounds, so they're actually not the best choice in this match, but I think really because they lose the Hounds so much. Cold War Knights as well. I think they just got destroyed by Noctis before they even reached the front line. And the Harpies did okay. Okay, average.
I think they didn't pay for themselves actually,
no,
but like they were supposed to kill the Felbats and the deck.
Yeah, they did their job, so can't really complain. Alright, a 2v2 now. Dwarves and Coast versus Chaos and Clan Eshin. Boy, I know how you love Clan Eshin.
I mean, actually I don't have anything against Snitch, but...
You just don't like the law.
Yeah, I hate... Oh, for fuck. Yeah, please don't. Like, I agree it's not as bad as I make it out to be, but like, holy shit, it's...
You even went Dwarves as well, like, because I don't see you go Dwarves very often. Look at this.
Yes, because we need... Like, I wanted to produce some replays.
You needed to.
And since I've been taught how to use their units now, thanks to the
yeah, yes, of course, yes. Good plug. You're welcome. I taught you. Oh wait, no, but if I say I taught you and you did poorly in this, then it's going to look bad on me.
Let's see.
No, no. I don't like this. And it is on MP Blue each river. There's going to be like 2 separate 1v1s that we should look at. So like look at one, then
yeah, pretty much. They're not really, we're mixing up, but I don't know how much, like, one of the engagements is pretty much one-sided, so...
We'll look at both at the same time then. Clan Rats. The cornerstone of Skaven military. Less numerous, but better trained than the slave class. Meat Shield. Yeah.
Actually, do they have expendable? I don't think so.
I don't think so, no. Or do they? I think it'd be bad if they did, because it just means that pretty much all your Skaven infantry is Clan Rat anyway, so... If it doesn't, if all of it has is expendable, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, stupid nerf to slaves.
Just everything every Skaven unit should have expendable. Even Stormburner should have expendable.
Maybe not the Council Guard.
Half the Council Guard. Alright, let's start looking at the Clanesian army first. What we got here? 3 Jezzails, one of which is the ROR. Stormvermin, Sword and Shield. Front line of Clan Rats with the ROR in the centre. Plague Monk Censer Bearers. Ooh, a black Plague Monk Censer Bearers. Look at them. Different shade colour you don't normally see. Of course, a Greaser of Ruin. No Law of Eshin for you. And Gorich as well. Gorich with no healing, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Especially against Dwarves, I can see him dying very quickly. 3 Clan Rat Spears in the back.
Actually, this is the most meta army that I think Ted has ever brought, so...
This is Ted, is it? Ted played Skaven?
Yes.
This isn't... How is this meta? I mean the Jezzails, actually. I think that's literally it. Just the 3 Jezzails is meta enough. Looking at the Chaos Army. Frontline of Marauders with 2 Chaos Great Weapons in the back. Sarthuriel the Everwatcher leading the charge. Well, not leading the charge, he's way in the back. He also has 2 Exalted Heroes, a pretty common pairing you'll see. The 2 Exalted Heroes, of course, they don't have AP, but they have pretty good stats. But Sarthuriel with his Plague of Rust can lower armor by a full 60 when it's overcasted, which can help the Exalted Heroes do a lot more damage. He also has triple Mortar throwing axes all the way on the side here, and another great weapons, the other 2 great weapons in the forest, hiding them in the forest so that they can't get shot at as much, and they also don't get seen. The Coast Army was 2 Scurvy Dogs, 2 Deckhand Mobs, quite a shallow front line there. Sirens, 2 Depth Guard with polearms, a Deck Gunner unit, 2 Deck Droppers with handguns, so the armor piercing variant, Solostra on the Giant Promethean, and the Lamprey's Revenge. Very like a Solostra focused army. And your army, like us, has triple handgunners, a cannon, Dragomax Slayers, which of course come down with a slow, 2 Longbeards in the back, a front line of Miners with Blasting Chargers and Dwarf Warriors, and Ulthwar's Raiders, along with a leadership corps of Grombrindle, the White Dwarf, and the Rune Lord with 2 runes. Is that the damage resistance one and the slow one?
Yeah, damage resistance one and slow effect. Basically, I was going for a gunline build, so I brought 4 Quarrelers, put them in the basically square formation, a cannon to force them in, because I noticed that my ally doesn't have cannon with the coast.
Yeah,
so
awkward that no artillery from the coast, just the Deck Gunner unit. Especially on a map this big, like you can really afford to bring, especially against these 2 factions. Well, no, yeah, even against Skaven, like the Jezzails, like sure, the Nata Buboes might snipe you because you can't shoot them, but with a cannon, you can pretty much take out a Jezzail unit before it can get in range. And we'll see how your cannon does here in this match. Oh, there's also some wolf rats off on the side here.
You will notice us basically switching enemies because I figured I would do better against
their chaos. Yeah, well, Skaven is a hard count. This is Ted's Skaven though, so we'll see how he does here.
Yes, and I thought he would bring a meme army, but he didn't actually. He brought actually a decent army.
Is it?
He has 3 Jezzails, he can step the characters, he has 2 Sensibles, which actually allows him to get damage into the... if he doesn't get, like, blasting charges.
Yeah, if he doesn't get destroyed by blasting charges or thunderers.
And, like, I had no targets for my thunderers, like, 3 thunderers. What am I supposed to kill with those?
With this Gorich. See how he goes. I'm guessing he goes pretty quick.
We were actually discussing if Gorich is maybe, like, good in this matchup because anti-infantry bonus and, like, Dwarfs don't have the most stuff to kill him.
Definitely need to bring the healing.
Yes, you need to. Yeah, you need to. But like, who would bring like heavy kinds of like? Because Skaven don't typically bring monsters against.
I think you could go like really heavy in like the Quarrelers and Ranger departments to counter Skaven.
Yeah,
I've seen that being a strategy sometimes.
Yep. So basically, we're switching mid battle.
Yeah, you're just noticing this as a switch here. Coast going over to this side, and then the Dwarves going over.
I was
to this
just
side.
like having fun with 2 Exalted Heroes and Manticores, like. Watch them go into my Thunderer core and basically get the lead.
So even Sarthuriel would get, even with his 50% missile resistance, like that's still not enough. It's only.
I didn't have the most like armor piercing damage, but I figured I could just nail them down and then shoot them with crawlers to pieces.
Because I mean, it's like 50% missile resistance, but Ulthwar's Rangers are still going to be doing like 29 damage per axe. So, and also that missile resistance can be lowered by their ability. So it's not even that bad of a choice. Over this side, looks like these Mordor horsemen should get caught out by these Scurvy Dogs here. Scurvy Dogs would be fine probably chasing them forever, so should go after them quickly. Firing at the Exalted Hero already in range of one of your Thunder units. Thing is, you can't really dodge and weave against Thunderers because the missiles just go too fast. There's no dodging that really.
Yeah, you see how much damage like one half hit volley did.
It's like half a volley.
He flies out of range, unfortunately, so...
Gisele's putting some pretty good damage onto these deck droppers. Probably better just to leave them like off in the forest distance so they couldn't get shot down like this. Or he's just landing them. Oh dear. Literally just landing his expensive missile flying unit so that he can tie up the Giselles. If Ted gets on those quickly, that's like 700 gold gone. Although the cannons are also firing on the Giselles right now. Front lines clashing, Marauder unit, just showing how much the Mariners with blasting charges do. They used up all their ammo, but there's a unit already gone pretty much. It's going to rout before it does anything significant. Also Thunderers can be firing into the Chaos War. There's a bit of a stack here, this is angering me how they've stacked down here, but hopefully move them out of the way. Slosher's going right into the fray of it. Cannon firing strong, Thunderers all firing fairly okay. So obviously because of the height of the Dwarves you can see just how easily that they're able to fire at those Chaos Great Weapons in the distance. Putting on damage pretty much even when they're in straight in melee.
Yeah. You can actually see on the left flank I'm flanking Chaos Warriors at the back with Dwarfs.
Flanking them?
No, on the bit yeah.
Oh
exactly
yeah, there.
There.
Dwarf Warriors being out flanking. There's a flanking unit. Dwarves have cavalry themselves. Yeah, that'll put the leadership penalty on them as well. Because
I think no Satori comes into range at my...
Does he? Oh yeah, there he is. He's right in the middle, and also you're applying his debuff, you're slowing him. So his missile resist is down to, what, 38%? No, 28% at this point. So it's really not as much as it should be. And so he can really get shredded by all these missiles that he's getting thrown at him. Look at that,
I think the exact word of Odd were, oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah, that is really low on health. Like you expect Tarthurial, okay, he's got 50% missile resist, he's going to be immune, but no, it's not that good. Looks like Slosher's been getting picked off by Giselles pretty much the whole game. And also Exalted Hero is also chasing after her, not looking great for her. One of the Giselles has been shut down, although now they're throwing axes are in range, they're going to try and whittle down these long blades. They're just throwing axes cavalry tend to do pretty well against dwarves because of this, because you can just sort of, if there's not enough ranged units to counter shoot them, then they can just sit idly and like chip away at your expensive armoured infantry. So always be aware of like Centaurs are throwing axes, Marauder horsemen are throwing axes, etc, etc. Gotta watch out for those, so make sure you bring plenty of ranged units if they're capable of bringing that. Knights Errant being summoned up, although I think Sarthurial, doesn't Sarthurial also have a huge magic resist? It's only 25%. It's only 25%, so it's not too bad. The debuff Fog of the Damned being put down in this huge melee clash. Syrenes getting surrounded, they're going to break off soon. Summoned running Prometheans fighting the Plague Monks, not doing a huge amount of damage just because they don't have the melee attack for it really. Or the splash attack. Ooh, some good Giselle rounds, some even Thunderer rounds going to the backs of those Plague Monk Sensibles.
Yeah, at this point I thought we had this in the bank, basically, but I didn't notice like how hard the coast was punished. And that he still had like 2 units of basically healthy Chaos Warriors with Halber.
Yeah, there's two. These ones from the forest that took a bit longer, but also means they've sort of caught you off guard.
So I completely screwed up my formation with trying to get actually to find the Skaven, but...
Gorge is coming into range though. Beautiful. Shut him down. He's got like no missile resist, he's got no shield. I know I think he has 15%, but again, we saw how much 25% helped off Sarthurial. 15% is going to help you.
How I ran into the front line with the Sensibarrows, basically. Like one Thunder unit got shut down, and I forced Quinn to sacrifice Celostra to save my ranged core.
He's charging right onto those cannons. They'd probably be better just throwing. Like he's still got plenty of ammo. He should have just stayed out and just kept throwing. But he might be able to shut down the cannon now at least. Save Giselle.
Yeah, the cannons were killing the Giselles.
Yeah, Giselles are pretty much already dead. Or he's using the Giselles to shoot at Celostra, I think. Finish her off. Oh no, actually he's firing at the Thunderers right now. But yeah, there goes Gorge. There's 2 Thunderer units, there's the Ulthraz Rangers. He's dead, he's gone. There's no healing for him to save him or anything. Yeah, 2 Plague Monk Sensibarrows here, although they are being debuffed thanks to Fog of the Damned, which puts their melee attack down to 15, and with the high melee defense of Dwarves, that should be alright to shut down these Sensibarrows, especially if Slosher throws herself in for a terror route or something. Well, actually, I think they have permanent immunity to psychology. Do they?
Yes, they have permanent immunity to psychology.
Is it? Do they? Or is it just frenzy?
If you hover over it and pause for a second, you can look.
No, because it will show up here even with frenzy activated. I think, doesn't it? Well, these ones don't have frenzy activated. Oh no, they do have frenzy activated. Do they have frenzy activated? It's hard to tell. Either way, they weren't being affected at that time.
Also, yes, chariots still eat dwarves for breakfast.
Yeah, chariots still do pretty well. There's things like Grombrindle helps because of the smoke bomb, and obviously the mass changes, but they still do really well.
Okay, so what you saw there is I basically, when the cannons got attacked, I pulled the cannon crew off to actually get it away so it doesn't get killed.
Live, yeah. It's not like they're going to destroy the cannon.
Didn't quite work out because like here actually there's just so much harassment tools and I need stuff in the front line to throw
a lot of mobility.
Incoming Skaven.
Thunderer's still able to shoot at these Chaos Warriors quite nicely because of the height of Dwarfs. Grombrindle getting stuck in as well. Yeah, you can just see here, like, Thunder was able to just shoot over the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass quite easily and shoot into those Chaos Warriors with great weapons. So Ethereal's still kicking. Gisele's are almost out of ammo, so that threat is almost gone. The Bloody Reaver deck guard still fighting on, but they're nearly dead at this point. Cannon still firing off. Both those Rangers still have a tiny little bit of ammo left. Dragonback Slayer's going to be able to finish off these Sensor Bearers probably. They don't have the armor to hold off for long. They only have 10
armor.
They
actually did a shit ton of damage.
Oh yeah, they did do a fair amount. I suppose there is a physical resistance, but there's also a magic resist. So it sort of counterbalances. God, I can't wait till magic resist gets changed to spell resistance, eh? That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna completely screw the balance. That, like, even the little balance that is in the game at the
I'm
moment.
just gonna bring Sirens every time against Dwarves now, just constantly. There's no downside. Actually, all Ethereal units will just do a lot better against Dwarves now. Should be noted. Although most Ethereal units don't have shields, there's that. But even then, I think you're going to be seeing a lot more Ethereal units against Dwarves.
I mean, it's probably just going to be because Chaos Dwarfs also get magic damage and magic resistance.
Final Transportation.
Yeah, a really good one.
Hit both characters and also the Warriors Dragonfire Pass. Stormvermin Sword of Shield, a pretty hard counter there, I think, to Slayers, because they got the high armor.
Yeah.
Fairly decent melee stats as well in the numbers. They're probably going to win out in that engagement. Cannon finally getting compromised, I think, unless they're able to get away. The crew getting away? No, I think so.
No, I think that's the end.
It's the end of the cannon crew. Really going down to the wire. It's really just down to a summon of Stormvermin. Does that do friendly fire? It's a crew killed
yes.
A couple of clan rats there. I think he's just trying to... If he can get rid of Grombrindle, probably going to be a victory there for the Chaos. Because Grombrindle could probably beat both of the Lords. But, yeah, it just depends how long Grombrindle stays around for at this point. If he dies quickly, then it's going to be a quick game. Yeah, firing at so ethereal, even though these Thunderers look like... These Stormvermin look like the best target. Things are a summon, they don't matter. Don't waste your ammo on them. Shoot at the prime target in the back here, who's been slowed as well, so you might be able to, do you manage to finish him off?
No, not in this.
Not quite. Still has another 800 health left, and he's just right on the edge of the range. So more throwing axes still going strong, whittling down longbeards even more. Just shows how annoying they can be for dwarves. They just can't keep up, literally.
Yeah, I think now you can actually set it to 2 speed because this is going on for a while.
It's just a melee grind, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's a melee grind and me running away with 2 Thunderers and keeping them alive.
Yeah, it's the Thunderers are sort of shooting and Grombrindle fighting everything.
Like,
Ethereal getting shot.
Based on the fact that I have like 2 melee units left, I'm trying to dodge them with them all the time and keep them alive because I know they have the answer to Ethereal.
Well, they are Thunderers, so they're pretty hardy even in melee. With that 80 armor. 30 melee defense. Now it's just down to a focused Dwarven core. Grombrindle still going strong. Have you used his Unbreakable ability yet?
No, I'm gonna use it in a while. I think.
There you go. Is that you? No, you don't use that now. No.
It might be now, actually. Yeah, now it is. No, new negation.
Not yet, no.
I might have used it like some. I know I used it around this time because of the melee defense buff. Actually, like my units were not really like except for the Thunders, which are just running off.
So I feel we're getting gunned down now. You can see from the balance of power, like it looks very dwarf favoured at this point, but it's just counting like the winds of magic left from the casters for way too much that it's worth. Like after Thothiel goes down here, the balance of power should switch. He's on 70 HP, but he just got out of range of the Thunderers.
Yeah, at this point I was looking at the balance of power and I was like, what the fuck, how can this be close? Like how?
Or has he got hiding in the trees? But no, it is literally just And there's some
Skaven
Marauders
had
over
like
there,
one guy left, and
Yeah.
the Chaos had like nothing left.
And unless he's got
Like,
an
there's nothing
insane
if he
spell
killed the
left.
leadership.
Like maybe if he has another Stormvermin summon, then maybe. But does he pop one off? I doubt it.
He uses. I think he tries to use one spell, but I didn't really get what he was trying to do.
Yeah, he still only has like a handful of axes as well to throw. Looks like Sartorial will probably go down in this volley. Ooh, yeah, there he goes. Chicken has fallen.
Yeah, and I thought there was now like being army losses, but nope.
Nope. For some reason, it's literally just the Gracie of Room that's counting for this much value.
Yeah, you can speed it up to 3. It's just like
yeah, I mean,
he's sitting there like odd trying to reform, but he realizes he has like nothing left.
Yeah, like you look at the health values of what's left in like the ammo. There's no ammo left. Like you can just see there, the Rune Lord beat the Lord on his own. So that's literally what all that counted for. Ooh,
yeah, it was kind of strapped in the end.
Yeah, down to the end. Well, they tend to have that with dwarves in long fights like that.
Check out the Thunder values in the end.
Thunder is always good. I want to look at that. So Grumbundle did meh, okay. Didn't do great. And I think he just didn't manage to get the targets he wanted to. I don't think he got stuck into like Chaos Warriors a lot. And like Storm Vermin. Oh, that Dwarf Warrior unit did surprisingly good. That might be in the flanking unit. Longbeards paying for themselves pretty much. Dragonfire Pass nearly paying for themselves. These Slayers did pretty good considering they didn't actually have like any large things to kill. Like this, that's all damage just like infantry. Yeah, Thunderers, 1,000 from that. Because these are like Thunderers are what, 700 gold?
Yeah.
All of them paid for themselves nearly twice over. Just the power of Thunderers. I think the best unit in a Dwarven roster, I'd say. Sure, there's some situations where they're not the best situation and the best unit, but I think you don't really see as consistent damage values as that usually with Thunderers. Use them right and you just get really good value with them. And 2,000 from the Ulthar's Rangers as well. 1,300 from the cannons. Quinn's army got a bit crumped by all the Skaven stuff. Probably would have been better if he hadn't switched, to be honest.
For him, yes. For me, not.
Well, I think he still could have done good against that Skaven army.
Yeah, probably. That's right.
But yeah, Slostra didn't do that much. That guard did actually pretty good considering they weren't fighting anything large again. That was just from them fighting like Skaven. Deck Gunners did good, one of the Hound units did good. The Deck Droppers, the Hand Gunners didn't do very well because they just threw themselves into Zales and died. And looking at the Chaos Army, Sartorial did pretty good, always does do pretty good. Marauders, no, the Exalted Heroes didn't do very well. I think they just got shot down quite early, didn't they?
Yeah, I got the Thunderers on them, and I think they were killed by the Bloody Reavers deck.
The blood. Oh, did they throw themselves into that? Yeah, that's probably where that.
I mean, I
came
think
from.
they didn't throw themselves, but like they were caught by them because at some point Otto realized that he needed to pay attention to his front line and just forgot about the Exalted Heroes.
Forgot about them, yeah. Clanmats doing surprisingly good for value wise. I think they were fighting Deckhands mob, and maybe they got into some Hound units as well. Plaguemonk Sensivera is one of them doing alright. Storm Vermin did pretty well. Jezzail's all doing really well. Again, just showing the power of Jezzail's. I think they all took down Celostra pretty much on their own.
Yeah, the Crabs, Celostra, and probably the Death Guard.
Yeah, a couple of the Depth Guard as well probably felt it. And Clanmats being Clanmats. I think it's time for one of my replays. Oh, I think I only have 2 actually, not 3. Yeah, that's Dark Elves versus Team Kings, not Dwarfs versus Team Kings. I think this one's good. Dark Elves versus Dwarves. Yeah, I think this one looks pretty good.
Hi, Ronzo.
Ooh.
I think Alexis would like this Dark Elf army.
He would. Wouldn't. It has a lot of crossbow. Or repeater crossbow even. I forget what lore he had. I think it was lore of Shadows, I think.
Okay, also Ronzo, how many turns? We have watched 2 replays so far, 1v1 and a 2v2. And yeah, I think it's get uploaded to YouTube with those recordings, so we will upload it so you can just rewatch it later if you want.
Recording. Good.
And also, Spaghetti Monster's asking, how do you deal with Nosker and Vampire as the Vampire Coast?
With the Vampire Coast, you probably want to go like Noctilus is pretty hard to deal with if you put on Necrofex. You can use that to shoot like monsters and skin wolves and stuff. I think mostly guns. Bombers also do really well at clearing through, because they don't really have the range units necessarily to deal with bombers. So if you bring a couple bombers, regular deckhand front line, and then just you can usually kill everything has quite low armor, so bear that in mind. Unless it's a mammoth, but that's what you bring Noctis for. I think gunnery weights and crabs can do quite well because you don't usually.
Yeah, I would say double gunnery weight.
Yeah, two gunnery weights and crabs. Alright, let's see. How did this one go again? Oh, yeah, is it Law of Metal? I wanted to check. Law of Death, with that weird scroll that the Dark Elf sorceresses get. But yeah, looking at the Dark Elf army, it's pretty standard infantry army. You have 4 bleak swords in the front, 4 dark shards in the middle, and then a back line of dreadspears. You don't really need the back line against dwarves. Really, they're just sort of in there as reserve more than anything else. Like, you're not going to have any dwarf flanking units anytime
You also
soon.
don't need dreadspears.
No, yeah, that as well. Because where's the large? You're not going to fight a runesmith or anytime soon. I also didn't notice they actually had the cav deployed behind me. I didn't notice that until later. So he's got 2 dark riders with repeater crossbows, Slanesh's harvesters, Doomfire warlocks, pretty much a copy either side, but this one's got the non-ROR version. My army is a pretty tight rectangle. Miners with blasting charges, longbeards in between, and that follows the front line. In the back line, longbeards with great weapons. I'm thinking they'll do better against Cold War Knights. Of course, my blasting charges will blow apart pretty much all Dark Elf infantry. Thunderers, just in case there's like dragons or chariots or Cold War Knights or anything pretty much large and armoured that a Dark Elves can bring. And in the back line I just have Rangers because they can counter shoot Dark Shards usually pretty well. Speaking of Dark Shards as well, it would have been a better idea for him to either go Shades or Dark Shards with crossbows so that he can survive that counter fire as well. I went with Grombrindle as the leader and a Master Engineer with the Scabscraith breath ability. It's not Scabscraith, what is it called? The Fiery Ring of Thori. That, I'm just going to call it Scabscraith. He also has the improved accuracy buff that he's applying to everything around him. Yeah, see
okay, so yeah. Also, everybody yell at Willow because he's not bringing a runesmith, despite telling everybody last week he should bring one.
I just forgot. I didn't. Why didn't I bring a runesmith? I don't know, but I didn't.
Also, Ronzo. So basically, what you do with like unit controls, like I can just tell you what I use, and then we'll look into it. I basically assign like groups to my one group for my infantry, and then have like a certain key bound to my lord that I use every time that I know that I can reach pretty soon with my mouse, and one for my caster or runesmith or whatever. And then just like I use control groups for whatever important have shit do I have, like one for Cav that I use the same for everything, like my flanking units on 6 I think, and the other flanking units on 7 if I have it, and then just like use that. If you want a low movement guide or something, I think Zerka's a good one, but yeah, that's pretty much
next week
it.
we might end up doing some quick battles so that it can show I mean, I honestly, sometimes I'll just like brain dead it and just literally just zoom out my map really far and highlight which units I want to go where. Sometimes I use control groups, but sometimes I just can't be bothered to. Backline here, I've noticed the cavalry. This is the point where I noticed that cavalry is deployed behind me because my rangers are getting pretty crumped. But obviously, dwarf ranged units don't die quite as quick. Like if these were Empire crossbows, they'd be dead by now. They'd be long gone. So they hold out a lot longer than other backline units normally would, which is pretty good for them. Miners with blasting charges, destroying bleak swords, as would be expected. A pretty good soul stealer in here, but the problem with having soul stealer on a regular caster, not like on Malekith, is that you don't actually get any healing out of it. Because ideally you're not throwing your lord, your caster
it's also
lord
not soul stealer, it's death magic.
Oh, yeah, wait a second. Where'd you get the soul stealer? Oh, it's the soul stealer from Slanesh's harvesters, isn't it? I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Slanesh's harvesters get that. So yeah, that is good for them in that case because they do need the healing. I did drop a little Scabscraith in there because obviously they don't have any armor and they have the physical resistance to get around. Here he's blobbed up his Dark Riders on top of each other, and it's allowed me, not only does it mean his fire rate is really low, like he barely shoots any rounds at all, but it also means they're a pretty good target for my Thunderers at this point. More blasting charges. Blasting charges don't have armor piercing, so throwing them into your own like longbeards is sometimes alright because they have 100 armor, so they're not going to take much damage from it anyway. At this point I get my Master Engineer to just pop away at the Sorceress. I also get Grombrindle to chase after her. And at this point, because I've sent off the Doomfire Warlocks, I can just send all my focus fire on my ranged units onto the back, onto the repeater crossbows in the back. Although there are still some repeater crossbows in his back line. I just send Grombrindle after the Sorceress at this point, keep sending Spirit Leeches on her. he tries to pop down this weird scroll ability that sorcerers get. It's actually like really good. It's like a really good breath ability. I've noticed it does a really good amount of damage.
It just takes ages.
It does take a little bit to yeah. Like you can kind of move out of the way of it, but it doesn't have it has a pretty quick wind up time, so it's not amazingly quick to avoid. Which might be a reason to bring. Well, not a reason. Well, if you bring the sorcerers, I'd recommend bringing it most of the time. It's a good breath spell, especially if you're not bringing a lord that already brings breath. At this point in the front line, it is down to like Longbeards fighting Dreadspears, which is going to take like 8 years, but eventually the Longbeards will run out because they'll have the more armor and just the better damage overall than Dreadspears can really put out. But it's like 42 melee defense against 38 melee defense. I also do pop a couple fiery rings as well, just to put a bit more damage on.
How much like uses do you get out of the
3? Same 3. It's basically literally just a Scab's Grace, pretty much. That the dwarves get. I think nearly every faction gets access to a Scab's Grace like ability. I can't think of many that don't. Which was like I think Empire does. But they tend to always be attached to like that sort of basic hero unit. One bundle getting another Spirit Leech on him, but not taking a huge amount of damage. Most of the stuff that was vanguarded deployed behind me I've cleared up at this point, with all the Thunderer Fire and the Quarreler Fire, or the Ranger Fire even. At this point the battle's pretty much over, but it's just counting a lot of value from the caster lord, because not only is it a lord, but it's also a caster. So it counts for a surprisingly large amount of bounty power. Way more than it should have. But there you go, yeah, armor losses.
Yep, this is why you should never pick Dark Elves into Dwarfs.
Yeah, it's not a great matchup for Dark Elves. It's not as bad as like Bretonia, as we'll have a look at now.
You really want to do this?
You sent it in, it's your fault, not mine.
Actually, it's Ted's fault, but
it's Ted's fault.
Anyway.
Well, you know what he tried. He's brought Foot Squires. He brought Albrecht. Why did he bring an anti-large lord? An anti. I bet he's on his horse as well, so he doesn't even have armor piercing.
An anti-large, non-armor piercing lord.
Oh, amazing! Thanks, Ted. Amazingly good.
Like the one time you should pick Rupon's.
You could bring the Fave, or yeah. Leon Kerr would be good as well. Anything but Albrecht would be fine. Oh, Ted. Dear me. Go through your army, Lycus. I know there's a bit of delay, but I'll be looking at anything you talk about, so.
Okay, yeah, basically, I just bought blasting charges for the front line because they clear any of the Bretonian chef. I want to get rid. I know that he had peasant mobs and probably food squares, and like they do good against both of those units. Then I brought some armor piercing. I think it was Longbeards for the. I actually thought they had charge defense, but they don't. This was the first game for.
They do have charge defense against large.
They do have charge defense. Okay, yeah, and they also have Old Brumblers, so they get a little bit more leadership. Then Ulthras Ragers, because like they're just really, really good.
Yeah, they will delete like pretty much anything armored.
And yeah, they also can get the armor and missile debuff. And also I needed something to punish, like in case he brought a flying lord, I need something to punish him if he hovers over my army. I brought a cannon to force him in, and because it's really good against any of the knights. And I think in the back line there are then more Longbeards, because I wanted to have the charge defense in the back line.
Basically spears, pretty much for the net roll for that.
Grombrindle as my lord, because he's just the best.
Yeah,
and Runesmith, because Runesmith.
With the slow and
I only brought the debuff, speed debuff, Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and the damage resistance.
This is an interesting choice.
And 3 gyrocopters with Brimstone gun, because yes, he's gonna have a ton of archers, but I figured I could get a lot of shots off because of anti-large armor piercing on the knights.
Yeah,
which is exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work pretty well because it's Ted, but I think like the only change I'd make, the truth is like almost a perfect Dwarven army, is like I'd drop the gyrocopters and bring Thunderers instead, because Thunderers do really worse against their Bretonian knights because of that armor, especially Questing knights that have no shield, which are like the only choice against dwarves because of their armor piercing. But yeah, pretty good dwarf build. Looking at the Bretonian build, front line of Foot Squires just there to eat the blasting charges pretty much. Foot Squires because, you know, armor piercing and anti-infantry, pretty much your only choice against dwarves. And the back line of Peasant Bowmen, even though they don't have the armor piercing, again just volume of fire can really put the hurt on some things. especially if they don't have shields like Ulthuar's Rangers or Grombrindle or something like that. Can still put on the hurt even with actually Ulthuar's Rangers only have 40 armor, so they could put some good damage on them. But it's Ted, so I doubt he'll target them that well. Over on this side, triple Questing Knight and Alberic. What? Not armor piercing and bonus versus large. This is not the Lord you bring against dwarves, just for hindsight. A Damsel of Life, bring in the spells of Earthblood, Shield of Thorn, which can help against some of that AP damage, and Regrowth, which will help with Vigor, and the Green Knight. Who's it? Oh, no, considering like his best target would be the Dwarven Lord or the Dwarven Runesmith, but considering the Dwarven Lord has magic damage, it's not going to go very well for him if he attacks Grombrindle. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Of course, the Bretonnian line will be moving up, and the cannons will probably just be firing at these Questing Knights as soon as they can. Brimstone Guns have already got this Questing Knight unit down to half health. That is not looking great for the Bretonnian Knight Corps. He's probably going to have that entire unit down before the... Yeah, look at how much damage that's doing so quickly. Normally this shouldn't be a problem because you'll have archers, or you'll have... I think Bretonnia sometimes actually bring flying in this matchup just for this. Like Leon Kern or Pegasus will be able to get these on his own pretty much. So...
No, Ted is running away.
Of course, this is the wise choice because he's moving the range of his peasant bowmen so they can get shot. Oh my god, how much damage that did just to the damsel on the first volley.
Yes, and I was actually telling Ted, now I'm gonna get your damsel, and...
Yeah, maybe Gyrocopter's not that bad of an idea. I mean, of course,
because
they can get punished very quickly if there's like a single Pegasus Knight unit.
Yes, they get punished by Pegasus, but you just run away back to my armies because I have the Althos Raiders and I can just put them apart. And they actually don't take that much damage from archers.
No, it doesn't look like it. Like, I don't think you even need to be bothered dodging it. You can just keep shooting without like a care in the world. At this point, Ted should probably just move like the rest of his army up. Like, he can keep the archers here and keep the Questing Knights near them. I mean, do Gyrocopters that good in melee? Are they good enough to beat Peasant Bowmen in melee?
No, they don't.
They wouldn't beat Peasant Bowmen in melee, I don't think.
Yeah, I could get to the damsel before she rallied.
They could also just drop like a single bomb drop would probably destroy an entire Peasant Bowman unit, and they get 2 of those. So I'm gonna fast forward this a little because I'm thinking this is gonna be a lot of this for a while.
No, I'm retreating in a second.
In a second, eh? Oh, there you go, now you're going back. Why, you could have finished the damsel off at this point. You're showing mercy at this point. This is just mercy, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I mean, I wanted the battle to proceed, and I know it was a horrible matchup for Ted.
So you felt bad for it, basically. You showed pity. Yeah.
I mean, like, either Midland or Bretonnia would have been horrible for, like, to face it, to use it.
Yeah, so you can't use any of them, can you? Ted's out of options against dwarfs. We went at Clan Eshin, so maybe there's something to it. Yeah, the only reason Damsel of Life isn't dead at this point because Lycus went easy on him.
I mean, also, it would have been more difficult to get her. I could have used bombing runs, maybe. And
you could have sacrificed all 3 of those Grims. You probably would have only had to sacrifice like a single unit to kill the damsel.
Yes, probably.
That would have been overly, amazingly good in value. Green Knight's running up there.
Yeah, actually, the Green Knight, I was too slow on Wormbindle, and the Green Knight almost got the Runesmith.
Did he? You could have also... Does he have a silver shield?
Yeah, because Grombrindle now runs into the other unit of dwarves.
Oh yeah, he's running through the long bed.
Crawl.
So he could, if he had gone this way instead, that would have been a lot quicker than going through his dwarf unit.
Yeah, and that's basically... I mean, the Runesmith is not going to die, but like the Green Knight actually kills them really quickly.
Yeah, see how much damage if Gwynbundle gets a hit on them now. Unfortunately, he's not attacking, he's moving there instead. There you go. Yeah, I'll do that. That'll be pretty much a win for Gwynbundle, I think.
Yeah, Ted didn't know I had Gwynbundle, so he actually let him fight.
I think people don't notice that Gwynbundle actually has magical damage. It's something you forget sometimes.
Yeah, Ted actually remembered, but like he didn't notice that it was Gwynbundle.
Throwing into Peasant Mob. Sad. I mean, not like
actually not choice, really worth it.
No, not really. I mean, I guess you could maybe move in like the Longbeard to the Peasant Moment and then like save the blasting charges for the foot squires. But, I mean, it's kind of difficult. I think that's literally what the Peasant mob are there for, is literally just to run in and absorb the blasting charges so that the foot squires can actually do something. Because otherwise the foot squires don't have that much armor, they only have 70, so they'll take a lot of damage from the blasting charges. Back here, this damage, these foot squires, these Questing Knights haven't done anything yet. and they're already basically dead. It is a sad display. Green Knight is nearly dead. I think that's just from fighting Grumbrindle. Like one more hit from him. Oh, luckily he missed, but he is not looking great. Not looking well off at all. A big volume of Peasant Bowman Fire going into Grumbrindle, but he does have 100 armor, 125 armor, so he's not dying anytime soon. Green Knight's down to 211 health. Is the damsel still alive yet? No, I think the damsel's dead.
I think the damsel died.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Bretonia at this point. Albric and I wonder if Albric and the Crescent Knights get any value. Let's see. Do they get into melee? Oh yeah, there they go. They're engaging a unit of Longbeards with great weapons.
Yes, but they're getting followed by 3 gyrocopters.
Yeah, they're getting shot by the triple brimstone gun. Always remember when facing dwarves that gyrocopters exist, otherwise this is what happens to you. Well, Trident and Banan, even though it was nearly a perfect line, barely did like a quarter of the damage of the Ulthars Rangers. I think that's just a magic resist kicking in.
Yeah, also, I mean, Trident of Banan is not... I don't know how much armor piercing it has, but not like...
Was it not an armor piercing spell? I thought it was an armor piercing.
It has some decent armor piercing, but like I've never seen it do terribly well unless against like lowly armored. The lowly armored unit was like Stormvermin, like 80 armor.
Lowly armored units. Actually no, Ulthars only have 40 armor, so...
Oh, okay, so it should actually do magic resistance, probably.
Yeah, probably just a magic resist kicking in. And the high HP of each like dwarven model.
Yeah, yeah, I think you can just forward now. Like this.
Yeah, this is pretty over at this point. Yeah, they're going big army losses. I wonder if a single one of Ted's units paid back in value. I'm legitimately.
They're actually hiding the Green Knight in the forest now.
Actually, no, maybe the Green White. I don't know actually. But the Green Knight might not have paid back in value. Close victory. Not what I'd call close, but sure, whatever. So looking at the dwarf values, yeah, Grumbrindle just get all his value just from killing the Green Knight. Greensmith wasn't meant to do damage. The blasting charges, yeah. But I mean, they threw into peasant mobs, so they didn't have much value to get there. Longbeards never ended up doing anything because everything died before they even came around, and the brimstone guns all paid for themselves over the top. Cannon also paid for itself nearly like 3 times over. Albrecht didn't pay for himself. Green Knight didn't pay for himself. How much are foot squares again? Is it 600? 600? Well, okay, either way they didn't pay for themselves. One of the peasant mob units paid for itself. Congrats to that one peasant mob unit for being, I think, the only one. Oh no, this Crescent peasant bowman unit also paid for itself. And that's it. That Crescent unit literally did nothing. That was a...
Yeah, it was the one that got focused on early.
Shameful display.
It's a horrible matchup.
Shameful display. Speaking of another horrible matchup, Dwarfs vs Empire. Me as the Dwarfs.
You like counter-picking your opponent, Bruno, do you?
No, he picked Empire into this. And also he played this kind of well, actually. He played this the way you should play Empire. You take Hellstorm batteries, and you hide behind a forest. And you just pray that the cannon shots don't go between the trees.
Spoiler alert?
Yeah, that's what he does. Spoiler alert, it's gonna happen. On Eschen as well. Eschen. How do you pronounce that? It's not just pronounced Eschen, is it? Esken. So yeah, looking at the Empire army, he has he has Calfrans, along with a front line of swordsmen, a gold chevron greatsword unit in the center, triple Hellstorm rocket battery, 2 Reichsguard on the flank, the silver bullets. I don't see the silver bullet at this point, thanks to their stalk, and also a Jade Wizard with Earthblood, Shield of Thorns, and Regrowth. My army, I forgot about my guys in the back here. Don't mind them. I left them in the back. They catch up eventually, so it's no problem. But whoops. In the front, mine is blasting charges along with Longbeards. On the flanks, I have a unit of Longbeards with great weapons on each side. In the middle, I have triple Quarrelers. I also have the Grumbling Guard in the center, and 2 cannons. Dwarven cannons can 2 Dwarven cannons can outshoot like 3 Empire cannons. It's a pretty good trade-off. But over here you can see that the Hellstorms are positioned up here on a hill. They are positioned behind behind the tree line. They are also raised up, so he has the hill advantage. He can hide behind the tree, so the cannons won't be able to do as much damage to them. And he's also making use of that maximum range, because Hellstorms have a more range than the cannons. It's important that you deploy like as far away as possible, so that you can make full use of that range advantage. So I think if you have a look here, cannons have 440 range, whereas the Hellstorms have 480. So while they're like moving up into position, you can get quite a few volleys off, at least one or two. Yeah, let's play this through. I believe Karl Franz does have Galbraez, which gives bonuses to large, but it also gives the armor piercing damage, which is the more important part of that. So yeah, so you can just see the Hellstorm rocket batteries. They do work really well against dwarf infantry lines most of the time. Like when you're playing in this matchup, if they do bring Hellstorm rocket batteries, you really have to spread out like as much as possible. Because this minor unit already down to half health.
They're absolutely inaccurate low, so I think switching targets after you fit one unit is
at this point you can probably switch.
You split the unit up like the explosions.
Especially when you see like a big blob like this. That's the prime blob to be hitting there. Or like where you see like when it comes to firing Hellstorms, you just fire when like units are close together pretty much. Like if you see a really expensive unit off on its own, it's not really probably worth firing at. If you see like 3 medium cost units clumped up, then fire at those. I'm not sure how. I don't think Hellstorms do enough damage to cannons in order to be able to outshoot them. Yeah, they just don't. I don't think even with like a good volley like that, they didn't. Yeah, the distance along with the tree line means that I'm probably not going to be able to shut down these Hellstorms with just my cannons, which has forced me to move up. He's also flanking around the sides with Reichsguard, trying to just like put some pressure on, go after crawlers or the cannon crew if they can. He lands Karl Franz into the Grumbling Guard. Makes him a pretty good target for my crawlers at this point. Although he does still have a good 100 armor, so and they're not armor piercing. Tries to get out of there quite quickly. Does take a lot of damage though. I think he was just trying to get my Longbeard to clump up a bit more so that he could get some Hellstorm rocket batteries on it. Right guard get caught a little by the Longbeards with great weapons there. Karl Franz just sort of jumping around all the quarreler shots. Front lines are coming into combat now. My miners have taken quite a bit of damage. These two of them have, so they might not be able to finish off the Empire infantry as quickly as they could. This is the point where I see the silver bullets as well. I don't think you really need the silver bullets in this matchup because of the magic damage. I think it's a good idea. Maybe, I mean, there is the fact that they have stalk, so you can hide them from like quarrelers and things like that.
Is he healing up the cannon? The Hellstorm rocket batteries?
Might be. There was a level of strategy to that, prevent them from running.
I think it actually heals up the cannon
model. Does it actually heal
itself,
the actual artillery model?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, it's difficult to see because you don't see the value, but I think before the undead it has been tested and it actually works.
Here is why I went great weapons as opposed to regular Longbeards, because they'll do a lot better against the armoured knights and such. Like, when you just go regular Longbeards, you're basically just getting a brick wall. Not amazing damage output. Longbeards with great weapons help a bit more in that department. Yeah, of course, pretty much the Empire front line will all fall, pretty much, apart from, of course, the Great Swords, which are also gold chevron. So they're pretty much like the holding centre of this army here. Especially because they're getting healed up with an Earthblood as well. They're only fighting miners at this point. I think swordsmen will probably beat miners in a one-on-one fight. Assuming they haven't thrown off their blasting charges, which these ones haven't, and also they're really low in health as well. When they get this close, you'll notice the Hellstorms are also hitting the trees a little bit. Like if they fire at further away targets, they can ignore the trees. But if they're trying to fire something that close, then they tend to hit the trees a bit more. Grumbundle fighting Karl Franz. Karl Franz has popped his armor piercing damage, so he will do extra damage, but he's a bit low in health at this point. But Grumbundle is taking a fair chunk of damage on his hits. Quite a chunk of damage. Although Quarreler should be firing a little bit to support as well. And yeah, Karl Franz pretty much, I think he does go down to the camp. Yeah, there he goes. That will definitely affect.
Grumbundle has a smoke bomb, which basically allows him to trap, and he has the runesmith nearby. I don't know why he didn't land, to be honest.
I thought he'd be. I think he was after the cannons and he just was staying there after Grombiddle showed up. Oh yeah, I forgot the Grombiddle's ability to get changed, so it actually applies melee defense as well as big. Forgot about that. More rocket valleys, just going into these crawlers, trying to take them out before they can use any of their ammo, pretty much. I mean, they've used a little bit of on car friends, but the more missile units you kill, like the less ammo they'll have overall. So whenever you kill a missile model that's got like full ammo, you're also killing all the ammo it's carrying with it, which makes it pretty handy. Reichsguard, I've focused my cannon fire on the Reichsguard at this point because I realise I just can't really shut down the Hellstorm rocket barriers with just my cannons. Luckily I do get my Longbeards into the back line here to go after him. He still knows his Jade Wizard, which, I mean, you can't really snipe casters very easily as Dwarfs because you don't have any mobility. Unless you have triple Brimstone gun. In that case, it could go nuts, but not going to do super great. Great swords, although they're a really good choice against Dwarves because of their obviously armor piercing and anti-large, they have no shield. So they'll die really badly to the Thunderers and Quarrelers in like any ranged unit more or less, even with their 95 armor. Cannons firing into Reichsguard. Still. Silver bullets, I forgot what the silver bullets took this damage from. I think there was a couple there blasting charges. But they are running low, because obviously when they're this low in health they're also running out of ammo a lot. So that it doesn't have quite as much ammo as you think they might do. But yeah, this just proves a bit of a slog from this point as the rest of my army starts to move in up from this point. You still have like a full unit of Longbeards with Great Weapons left. And Runesmiths. I think one Brindle's also there, yeah, with a little bit of health left. Again,
yeah,
the caster counting for a lot of value.
All the games with Dwarfs are basically slogfests.
Yeah, pretty much. This is how Dwarfs play. Usually most of the time. But unless the Dwarves are getting killed, in that case, usually it goes down a bit quicker. But yeah, that is it. Pyrrhic victory. Take a look at some of those values. Grombiddle, I think he smashed on Franz and also hit a bit of the life wizard at the end, so he did alright. Minus with blasting charges. A lot of them got killed on their approach, so they didn't get a lot of value. That Longbeard unit did alright. This one that was fighting the Knights did pretty good. That one did also pretty good. That one did alright. That one not so much. I don't think this one got into combat. It pretty much had full health, so. Cannons did alright. One of the Quarrel units did really well. I think that was the one that managed to fight fire at Friends pretty much the whole time. The other two did okay. Friends did an okay value, didn't pay for himself there. The Swordsmen did as much as they could. The Greatsword did really well. They got into the right targets. There wasn't much I could really do for them apart from shoot them and try to hope to whittle them down. Reichsguard did and the Hellstorms did almost paid back for themselves. But yeah, this is a pretty bad matchup for Empire. Is that it? We're out of replays.
Yes, because nobody sent replays and Psycho was busy this week.
I did 3. I did 2 actually.
Yeah, this was the first time you actually sent in a replay.
I don't send them in, I just put them on and hope that they're okay. As if I let them get processed. I just throw them in at the last minute.
He just wants to skip the line because he's
gonna skip the queue.
That he's gonna reject them because they're dumb.
What should we do? Any thoughts?
You wanted to show off like unit controls. Should we do it in a quick battle or a normal battle?
What do you think?
I mean, you are the caster here.
I mean, so you are my right hand.
I guess a normal battle would be better than because then you have more time to actually get to it. So I'll start up my game then.
Ooh, RTK. Ooh.
Let me see if I have. I actually have a Wood Elves versus Dwarfs, what not to bring replay.
Oh, do you? Should we look at it?
I can drop it in.
No, drop it in. We'll have a look at that first then.
Okay, dropped it in.
Oh, wait, where did you drop it? Oh, there. What not to bring? Oh boy. I mean, I've seen all the counter picks I've seen so far. This can't be that bad, right? Right? Oh no.
Well, let's see.
Oh, I need to open the folder again. Data drive. No wait. No wait. Users. There it is. Where is it? There it is. Right, that should be good. Replay. There it is. There it is. Oh, interesting. You're playing Wood Elves. Aha. Okay.
Okay, I think I remember this game.
In a drunken haze. No, Quinn was
I think you actually joined during this game.
Did I?
Yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
maybe right at the end, wasn't it? So, I heard flame cannon. And that was then I stopped watching. You think flame cannon? You think wood? You think elves? You think that would work well? No.
I think the theme that he went for is fire, fire,
Is
fire.
it? I think just the 3 units. Oh, he has Dragonback Slayers as well. But that's it. So yeah, looking at this army, he's got Dragonback Slayers, Bugman's Rangers, 3 of them, and 3 flame. Wait, this is on ultra unit size as well. So he's got 12 flame cannons in total. It's disgusting. I hate it. He also has a Belagar Ironhammer. Should be noted that Belagar's the only person here with a shield against the Wood Elves.
Yeah, his idea was that I would be basically Vanguard deploying on him. He said to me afterwards, the Dwarfs, the miners were actually turned around, so they couldn't even like get the blasting charges off the start.
He was so sure that he would deploy in front of him that he really went all out on that then.
So his idea went basically that I would be now beside the between the flame camels and the miners.
And then you just good in idea, not so good on paper, not so good in practice. Some more Slayers in the trees here, and of course he's got his miners there.
I feel like the stream is lagging a bit.
Is it?
Or is it the replay?
No, it's the stream. Let me close some tabs down. Probably close this. Let me close that. My Steam symbol's always making it look like it's downloading something, but it definitely isn't.
Unprofessional streamer. Unsubscribe.
No. How's it looking now? Looking all right?
Yeah, no, it's looking better.
Anyway, so
it's also on
what's going on with your army here?
I mean, the idea was basically I pack on a lot of armor piercing and
yeah, a lot of armor
I have some fun, so I wanted to bring missiles. This is why I have like 3 Glade Guard with Starfire Chefs, because it's not a lot of people know those guys have armor piercing. They have fire damage and armor piercing.
Yeah, the Starfire Chefs come with armor piercing. Although the fact they do fire damage means there is a couple of Dwarven units that suddenly just become like immune, like Iron Drakes.
Like half this army.
Is it that bad? No, I think it's just like Iron
the only
Drakes.
flame like anti-Dragonback Slayers I think have fire resistance.
Oh no, Dragonback Slayers don't have fire resistance. I don't think anything here has fire resistance. You were right. You're safe. You're allowed. I think it's just like Iron Drakes and the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass have fire resistance. But Iron Drakes are sometimes brought in this fight. She's also got some Wildwood Rangers as well from Warhammer person. Glade Riders basically acting as hounds. Dryker with the Dryad summon, because summoning Dryads on top of the enemy is pretty good. And you also have a branch. Is that a branch wraith? No, that's a Spellslinger of Shadows on an eagle. Explain.
Shadows best low in the game.
Okay.
I think I brought the Pendulum and the debuff because Shadows is the best low in the game, and I wanted to bring.
Why the eagle?
I think I had money left over.
Oh, I thought there'd be some unique plan, honestly. So yeah, miners are dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
They do get a nice volley off. This one's probably got its value back just doing it as Eternal Guard, but the other 2 less so. Because they're dead already. And of course, triple Flame Cannon.
I think the replay is lagging like really a lot.
No, I think it's just the stream. I'm watching back on the stream, looks okay. I'll close my stream though so it doesn't consume it as much. Right, so that goes.
Yeah, that looks good.
Flame cannon not good. Explain why flame cannon not good, Lycus.
Because they don't do damage.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, they're just short range, horrible accuracy, and really awful damage output, actually.
Especially seems like the most expensive artillery unit.
Yeah, they have huge damage in theory, but they don't hit.
And no AP for some reason. Like I'm pretty. Oh my god! What was that? Oh,
You noticed this? I think he was aiming for.
What
I
is
don't
it?
know what he was aiming for.
Okay, I haven't noticed any hits yet. Okay,
Yeah,
there's some
I'm a
good
bit-
hits. Oh, there's some
I
good
didn't
hits.
know
There was
how-
some good damage at least.
How bad the accuracy was,
How did that? What was that even shooting at? How did that hit so point blank? How did that even do that? He's wiped out the half of his own unit.
It's going in the book.
That's going in the book, alright. Whoever made that flame cannon's gone right in the book.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit like too
He's firing
slow
at
in
the
making
eagle,
them
is it?
because he's doing that actually he's doing amazing amount of damage, but
Yeah.
like it's against shitty units, and I wanted to get a
and you
pendulum
really,
off.
you really shouldn't be able to do it. You could land the eagle on them. You could get these riders round into the backs of them. No, there's no reason why he should be doing this much damage, other than you being dumb. Oh, is it you gonna hit? No. Again, there's that pinpoint accuracy. Oh, they go actually hit around. So when it hits, it does good damage. Like that has some pretty good damage when it's hitting, but that's some pretty good damage when it hits. But the short range, the bad accuracy, the fact that it, like a single well-placed like spell could probably shut down the entire unit, doesn't make it worth it that much. You're just putting too many eggs in one basket. Oh, you also had some stagnates here. Stagnate, of course, with the AP and charge bonus means you can just cycle charge them in and out. Although now they're getting stuck by the Grand Rex stairs. But yeah, there you go. Flame cannon number 1 gone from that one charge.
Yeah. They also have like 4 projectiles at the moment. Normally
Yeah,
they
they
would
should have 3.
so it's like even worse.
Yeah, it does get. Also because of the fact that it's like ultra, that means they get more damage done against like infantry. There's more infantry models for them to kill, so that shouldn't get way more value than they should be getting. Although now they're all getting shut down now because they're just getting outflanked and killed. And also he could just summon a Dryad unit on top of them whenever he wants to. He summon them in miners instead, but you know, easy comes.
Yeah, I have my priorities.
Dryad actually getting destroyed by flame cannons.
Not what she imagined when she
Oh my god.
in the morning.
This is something else.
I think we're pretty early for the fun game though.
Yeah, that was a nice pendulum. Yeah, pretty good pendulum. All things
Pretty
considered.
pendulum.
Yeah, with how cheap pendulum usually is. Pretty good. Pretty good using
Can't do
it.
anything wrong with it.
If like maybe put it like straight through your own stagnates or something.
I never did
Too
it.
bad.
This
But
game.
theoretically. Dryads fighting Belagar, I guess, just to hold him down.
Yeah, he was going after Draca and then he did stop.
Blade Riders engaging Slayers. Okay, now they're leaving.
Yeah, I think you can just like fast forward now. It's just gonna be like shit ton of cycle charging now.
From the stagnates, yeah. And there goes, oh, nice pendulum on the Slayers there. And also the fact that you're shooting into the backs of them as well. Like they're all blobbed up, they have no shield, no armour. It's great. Although Drake just got beaten up a little bit.
Yeah, once the flame cannons were out, like he had nothing against the archers, so he was just
Yeah, they don't got anything left to kill the archers. Just gonna go down to Slayers and Belagar. But mobility usually wins in those situations. And dwarves don't have much of it, so can be a bit of a rough time for them sometimes. If they don't deal with that mobility quickly.
nobody likes dwarfs.
Dwarfs. Your little dwarf friends. This sure is going on for a while, ain't it?
Yeah, just set it to speed 3 then.
Okay. It's down to literally just Belagar. He's
Yeah,
not even
it's just
unbreakable. Look at him go.
I mean, I've lost a lot of my army, but like he can't deal with 2 stag knights, so He's not anti-large, he's not Ground Brindle, so he's just gonna get destroyed
Okay,
slowly.
don't you have losses? Well, took a look at some values. What? Oh, I guess it's in the pendulums, yeah. For some reason I thought it was the life caster. No, so what? Some pretty good values in the Starfire Chefs. But yeah, I think most of the value was there in the Stag Knights and the
I think they're underrated, the Starfire. Like,
just bring
Duke
Way
Lake
Watchers
Dog.
though. I feel like it's safe to bring Way Watchers.
Yeah.
They're not going to get flame
Cost
cannons,
like half.
first of all. Well, unless you literally let them get shot and like unveil them in front of the flame cannon. Slayers did alright just because you left some of the stuff in combat with them. There's some nice numbers on the flame cannons though. Even though, like, how expensive are flame cannons? Is it like 1,300?
Too much, too much. But
Too much, yeah.
I don't know how much.
I think at least one of these didn't pay for themselves. I'll actually have a quick look now. How expensive the old...
Flame cannons are 1,300.
1,300, oh yeah. So one did just barely, and one definitely did. But yeah. Join your game. I think we'll do one of these games, and then I think we'd probably be best leaving the I think I'd like to leave I would do one of these test games to test out now, but I'd like to leave a lot of like the management for next week so we can have our own video about it. So it isn't just mixed in with the replay session as much. We'll do a quick example game now. What do you want to do? I suppose we better do. Should I go coast? You go dwarves.
I'm gonna do coast versus. Okay. I mean, we can actually have the chat vote if there's.
Chat vote. Yeah, to anybody who's still watching. How do I actually do chat votes? I don't know.
I mean, you have to play coast or dwarf, so.
I'll play coast. You play dwarves.
Yeah, let me just pick a map, but I have a huge advantage.
Oh yeah, why did I let you host? Remember
Because
when your internet was bad?
I didn't want to stretch your connection anymore. So.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate
I mean, there's only one map that we can play on.
Crossroads.
What man?
Okay. I think we had very different opinions there.
No, it's full of men. It's always full of men. Best map in the game.
What a great way to end all of our trading sessions, pretty much. Oh, well, we still have, technically speaking, Beastman and this and then to do, but technically speaking, we would have covered all factions except Beastman. After this game.
Okay.
That's good, sure.
Yeah.
Better not be stream sniping.
Good idea, actually.
Also, that's Skaven dwarves.
So, what do you say about this matchup, actually?
What, Coast versus Skaven?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty even. I think.
I would rate it more in Skaven's favor, actually.
Maybe. I think sometimes it is a bit of rock, paper, scissors if you have the right units for the right things or not. Like, it depends on which sort of method you're going as Coast, whether or not you're going cannon build or rush build. And then it depends on what the Skaven are entering you with. It's pretty much just rock, paper, scissors. Wait, you used to go using Skaven then, are you?
I would say it's a bit more Skaven favor, to be honest.
You're going Skaven, are you?
Yeah, of course I'm going. What else I'm gonna go?
I thought you were going Dwarves.
Yeah, I can also hard counter you with dwarfs, but that's fine. Just you. Yeah, I know your builds, Willow. So.
Do you though? I definitely don't have them on record now. People can just look at.
Yeah, let's just see how this one goes.
Let us see if this works.
Wait, I need to put the stream on the other thing so I can see.
Stop looking. Cheater.
I'm not you, Willow.
I'm not a cheater. I just find creative use of game mechanics.
Yeah, it's true. I'll mute myself for a second, then you can like actually talk about your build.
No, I'm almost finished now.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm finished actually. Again, we can say that for next week. It's an individual thing. Or one of the weeks between now and when the Silence of the Fury. How many weeks will it be between now and the Silence of the Fury? Silence of the Fury releases on a Thursday, which
I
works
think
out
at
quite
least
nicely.
like 4 weeks because it's turning out on the 14th of
July. No, it's a Thursday. I'm pretty sure it's a Thursday. Somebody said it was a Thursday.
I only know that it's the 14th, I think, so.
Let me bring up a calendar. We have one of those built into our computers, so yeah. May as well use
Yeah,
it.
but I don't want to alt tab now. I can use my phone, wait.
I alt tab all the time. Too late. Alt tabbed. It's a Wednesday. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, it's 4.
Yeah, so it's 4 training sessions away. We have 4 more between now and when my next one will be.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted to do that magic guide at some point, so.
Yeah, we'll do something like that.
We can drop a poll what people would like to see.
What people want. Here's some suggestions. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below. Have you brought Queek Head Taker?
Maybe.
Oh.
Nessa versus Krieg.
That's what I saw. I think Queek wins that. I hope you have my stream muted, otherwise you've got a pretty big giveaway to stay. Do you have my stream muted?
Wait, I'm not listening to his stream. I have it muted all the time.
You definitely didn't hear my lord just scream out his name. Or her name.
Her name, so it's just Aronessa or...
Celestia. Or it's one of the Vampire Fleet admirals. Wait, which one's the male ones? I think
No,
the male
those
ones...
are males actually.
No, the males are the ones
captain's
with
team.
pistols. And then the
Ah,
ones
yes,
with,
you
no,
have
the ones with
genders.
pistols are the females, and then the
Yes, it
ones with
wasn't,
the
like-
pole arms are the males. That's how it works.
It's probably sexist in some way or form.
Somehow. Pistol is a
I mean,
woman's
everything.
weapon. Women fight with swords. Men fight with cannon. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna probably like use any control groups in this. Like I can't. I still need to get used to using keybinds. Like actually press 1 to go to my general and stuff like that. Like, I just don't have the attention
You're
span
gonna
for
be
it.
always using control groups. It's just easier.
I just go and click on wherever he is. Alright, I'm ready when you are.
Let me just assign some groups.
Ugh. Groups. Actually, I guess I should have some groups, okay. Theoretically, this would, I mean, my groups would be probably more like if I do that, that, and then these. And you can go ahead and press 1, 2, 3, 4 so you can scroll through them. I'll probably go into this detail more at some point, but just as a quicker rundown basic.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Would be ready.
Oh, teeth breakers, what are you? Some kind of dumb? Yeah, I think you are. Some kind of dumb.
Luther Harkonnen, but interesting.
What were you expecting?
On my list, like, this would have not been it.
What have you got there? Warclock Jezzails? I wonder if you have the Natty Bubers somewhere.
I never bring those.
What are the Natty Bubers? Never heard of them. Is that some new unit added to the Sounds and the Fury?
Yeah, I think I don't have the DLC for them, so...
Oh, yeah. As if you wouldn't buy every Skaven DLC that comes out.
Is that a bloated corpse in the trees? Oh,
Well, how do you see that?
You retard.
How do you see that?
Bloated corpse.
How do you see that? How do you see
Because
it?
I'm God, I can see everything.
You
It
stream
was like
sniping me.
no, it was literally out of the trees for a second.
Oh,
Yeah, because there's some
like a
like
single
whole
patch of trees that just doesn't
yeah.
compute with what you want to do. It's real
Would have been a
maze.
fun idea, but
I was thinking maybe. I mean, I remember going to build that had a lot of death runners in it. So I was worried about maybe seeing that. If I did, I'd want to do that against it.
Yes, I know. Now. I see it. Good.
What is that? Oh, I hate how this checkered me just in the right way. I hate it. What was that snitch? Snickage. Oh, we went right past.
I can. Covering ground.
Take that. My cutlass first. Power is dead.
I'm going in.
Van Hell's wish.
With haste.
Gone off my castle.
Moving.
That's a bit mean. Okay.
Move. Orders. Shamble on. Dance macabre. Sea dead rise. Fleet captain. Lurching. Giant. Yes, Admiral. Van Hell's wish. Get me close. From the maelstrom.
This way.
Captain.
Indeed. So be it.
The gas rod.
They are lambs.
Move.
We hear you. Hurry. By all means.
Moving. Power and death. Midnight Raider. Giant. From the maelstrom.
Into position. Covering ground. Their time is up. Quickly now. Certainly.
Dance macabre. Immediately.
Yes. Terrorite snitch.
Shamble on.
Time to die.
Good plan.
Now. I see it. I'm
I
going.
guess this is... Maybe I can win this. You don't shoot my 40 days.
Fleet captain. Fleet captain.
Maneuvering. Very well. Yes.
I think they terrorized. I smacked them. Thing causes terror that hits Skaven. Usually Skaven run.
I will end.
Who's next?
We will kill! Allez! With haste! We hear you!
Okay. It's over.
Was this really a non-meta army, Willow?
Yes. Can you believe it? I went on there for once.
No, I can't believe it. If I show Incap this, he's not going to believe it.
You're not gonna believe I went on meta. Brought a bloated corpse and everything.
I can't believe it.
GG.
Yeah, good game.
I should have gone cannons in hindsight.
I don't think so. I don't think cannons are good against Skaven.
In this situation, they would have.
I mean, they'll snipe the cannons in my experience, so I don't like, and you wouldn't have like any good targets. Like, I could keep the Ratogers back.
I do think that actually Mongol Horner is actually good in this matchup. That was the one. That was the most experimenty part.
Yes, you didn't see artillery. Grimmy, but I don't like artillery in this matchup because like one cannon, which I honestly I would suspect is not gonna like one cannon is shutting down any of these Skaven artillery, and like I don't get really good value out of the Warp Lightning Cannon A on this map and B in general because like Warp Lightning Cannons are really good against Cav, and I would not have suspected Cav. And the Giselles just basically shut down cannons, they shut down mortars, they shut down any of the large targets. So I don't like cannons, like Warp Lightning Cannons in general, in matchups where you can just counter shoot it.
Snitch is pretty good. Going after my caster.
Yeah, I was really hoping for sniping your caster. I thought they could get out, but you had so many
like
wolves.
hands, yeah.
Yeah,
Zales
like
did good
4
as well.
hands. Oh god.
And the
And,
Glibiders even did good as well.
And I really thought the wolf rats would beat the poison wolf rats would beat the normal hounds.
Did you? Oh, there's a poison wolf rat actually. Yeah, that makes.
Yeah, I switched for poison because I hated a lot of magic damage against like Sareens, and I know Willow likes them against me. But like, you don't need the magic damage wolf rats and armor piercing against Coast, but I thought I could beat you with the higher weapon strength. But like, what people don't realize, like wolf rats have 35 leadership, which is like one more than a Skaven slave. And if you put them down to fear, which is like -10, you are basically shortly above the route for like the terror route. So if you have like a Mongol Hunter and the Mongol Hunter, you can pretty much basically terror route wolf rats immediately.
That's why I like the Mongol Hunter in this matchup. Also, it's anti-infantry, and Hound counters
Yeah,
infantry.
yeah, the Mongol Hunter did a shit ton of damage to
It's basically just a Terrorgeist.
Yeah.
Terrorgulf? No, Vargulf. That's the one. It's basically just a
I mean,
Vargulf.
he has a debuff, which is probably good, but
Yeah, slows chilling aura, which can help
Yeah.
Skaven noise so quick.
yeah, also stalk. Like I couldn't see I didn't notice you had it until you was on
Yeah,
back
no,
line.
that's a nice thing about it. Makes it slightly better than a Vargulf. Actually, not quite as good because it doesn't have.
Well,
full
I think
concentration.
Noctilus and like not Noctilus, but like Luther on foot is a better idea.
Yeah, I wanted to give it a go, but I don't think you even go
I mean,
Luther
even
on.
Aranessa would have been better.
Don't think you even go Luther on. No, I don't think Aranessa would be better. Aranessa would get.
I mean,
would
you
get
can
crumbs by
snap down
Snitch.
the UF anti-large. You can net down the Ratogers in case he has some, and
I don't think netting them there would have helped me much in this situation. But anyway, it's usually Noctilus anyway. Again, Noctilus and the zombie summons that you can, especially with the
Yeah.
item summon, which you can, because it has a longer range, you can just summon it into the back line and like disrupt the sails, rattling guns, etc. Would have been, I think Noctilus on foot is probably the best choice because otherwise you're just gonna get Giselle to death. I mean, you'll still probably get Giselle to death. But anyway, that is it
Yeah.
for today.
okay.
I'll be calling it there.
So we're gonna maybe drop the poll or discussing what we're gonna do next week.
Yeah, we'll have a discussion what we're doing next week. We'll fix something out. Alright, well, I'll stop recording now. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.